Oh Herr, ich danke dich für all die schönen Erfahrungen, die wir machen konnten auf unserem Ghana-Trip. Ich danke dich für all die tollen Menschen, die wir kennengelernt haben. Allein schon hier, ich danke dir, dass wir hier auf der Couch zusammensitzen können mit Evans. Ich danke dir für all die Erfahrungen, die wir machen können. Und ich bitte dich, lass es genauso weitergehen. Amen.
Amen. I honestly wish I understood whatever he said.
I will tell you later.
So let's begin. I think today we would like to discuss a little bit about relationship. But I would like to know from Nelif, in case money really matters in relationship.
Money really matters. So, like how I experience it in Ghana, like money is a much bigger topic in relationships here than it is actually in Germany. I mean, the way I experience it in my country, it's more like people from the same income, like they marry or they are in a relationship. But we are still figuring out in terms of feminism, like questions about, for example, if you go to a restaurant, like who is supposed to pay? Is the girl supposed to pay or is the boy supposed to pay? I guess in Ghana
it's for Jacob to answer.
Sorry?
I think that question is for Jacob to answer. So when you are done, I think Jacob will answer that question first. Or what do you say?
Should I answer the question?
No,
Or should
after she's done with her presentation, I think you come in, you chip in. The question she asked, she was like, when you go to the restaurant or something, who's
should
supposed to pay?
Actually, I don't think it sounds like an easy question, but I think it's really difficult to answer. For me, myself, on the first date, I think, not should, but I would pay as a man. Not because she's the woman, I'm the man, I think there's something in between, just because I want to show that I enjoyed the time with her. And yeah, it's like saying thank you.
So let's take it in case she earns much more than you. Will you still play the role of a gentleman?
I think so.
You sure?
I do.
And will you allow him to?
I would, but I totally get it if some women, they don't want men to pay because sometimes it's a question of independence, you know? Like, you don't have to forget that so many women still financially depend on their husbands or their boyfriends. And that is, like, not an easy question because, like, a lot of women's rights are not accomplishable by women being financially dependent on their men. So, in case of payment, I can understand it if some women say that they want to pay for themselves because it's a question of liberation. And but I personally, I am completely fine if the man pays for me because for me personally, it's a question of how generous is that person. Like, and if he's a generous person, then I like to be with him. But for me, it's a much more personal question, but I totally get it. If for some women, it's a political question.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's not. I would not just invite her because of her gender, because she's a woman. I would invite a friend as well. So I think the topic is more about should I pay for a woman? I mean, if I enjoy the time with somebody, why not? Why shouldn't I invite him or her?
So what do you mean by generosity?
Generosity? I mean, generosity not just in terms of material things, but also in terms of how generous can that person, I mean, if that person can be generous to others, that person can also be generous to him or herself. So it's like more of a general mindset, I guess. And usually that, like in Germany, the way I can observe it, it usually expresses in these situations. If somebody is generous, also if somebody tips the waitress or the waiter nicely, then you can already see that this is a generous person. And usually that's what women are attracted to and what women like. Probably, I mean, I know many women, for them it would be more a gesture of generosity and not something they would judge men for.
Okay. So, per your status now, let's assume you meet someone you fall in love with. The person earns much lower than you. okay, in terms of income. Now, you've dated this person for a while, but you've seen that his financial capabilities are not that strong. Okay? Now, let's say you are playing the role of a breadwinner at home.
Yes.
How much love can you give to that person?
I personally don't think that love. See, are we thinking about how the gender roles are distributed in a relationship, or are we talking about if two people from a different class in society can marry? That are two different questions. Like, if I think that we are beyond the point that we can say that the woman always has to be the one who is less in income or has no income compared to the men. It can be changed up, like how you want the roles to be. Sometimes even in Germany, sometimes women, they just have better jobs than men, so it's better if they are the breadwinner. And it just depends on personal favorite, like how you prefer it, personal preferences.
Honestly, I wouldn't care about this as well. But like maybe one day she will become a famous artist. She loves her job. She earns good salary with it. I wouldn't care about caring about the children and staying at home. Why not?
Okay. So how would you define her success? How would you define her to be a successful woman? Or your definition for a successful woman?
Like I think there are different ways about defining it.
Would you?
Of course, at first the financial way.
Good. That's what I wanted to ask. Would you basically base it on her finances or?
Not just. I mean, if I stay at home, of course it depends on the finances. If she doesn't earn enough for like the whole family, I couldn't stay at home. But that makes sense. But I think success is way more than just finances. About how much she loves her job, how good she is at this job, how many people she influences with this job. It's a big topic. But to break it down on finances, I think there must be a salary which is good enough that I didn't have to work for this. Don't get me wrong, it's not my dream.
I perfectly understand you. So in case maybe you meet her now, let me say Nelly is an artist, and most of them they normally spend time outside home, traveling around the world, meeting people. So if in case you are the type of person who always wants your woman to be with you, how is your relationship going to be like with her?
I mean, in this case, this would be a really tough relationship.
But that's not how relationship works. Like you look for a counterpart that matches your
for instance,
life expectations, obviously.
And I'm not really into this kind of relationships. I think it's totally, of course I love seeing her every day, and I'm totally fine if it's
this is
not.
A general question. Okay, the question I just asked is a general question.
I mean, I think two partners have to has the same opinion to this topic.
Okay.
If there's one person who really wants to see their partner every day and the other doesn't want to, has a job like she has, traveling the world, of course they will have some problems. But if the two partners think in the same way, I think there shouldn't be a problem.
So considering this, if you were in his shoes, what are you going to do?
You mean if I am the part of the relationship who wants to always
and
spend
he's
time
the
with
traveler, and you want your man around you always. Let's say maybe he's financially capable, he gives you whatever you want, but the only thing you want for him is maybe the attention and time.
See, if I want somebody who gives me attention and time, I will be together with somebody who has the capacity to give me attention and time.
But how are you going to know? For instance, you meet this person new, and then during introduction, and then you rolling, you got to know maybe he's the busy type.
I mean, in total, like, in general, I would say that it is really important that mostly women, like what I observe in the behavior of women, like mostly when they enter a new relationship is that they give up their life quality. So sometimes they don't spend more time with their friends, they don't spend more time doing their hobbies, like, just doing everything they did back in the day when they were single. And so they get emotionally more dependent on their men. So they want their men to be around all the time just because they gave up all these things that made them happy when they were single before. And that is usually a problem because it changes up the dynamics of the relationship. Because that's not what some men like to do. They just keep their friends, they keep their hobbies, and they make time for her as well, of course. But it's not like they keep up with their own lives in that way. And because the girls are sacrificing that part for the relationship, usually they also expect the boy to give them more time and stuff because that's what they did. And that's usually like a big conflict in relationships, I guess. And that's the thing, like once you are, and that's like the advice I would give every girl to just like keep up with the things that they had for themselves were not part of the relationships. Things that they do for themselves and spend time with their friends and don't put that after, like last,
So when it comes to friendship,
Yes.
let's say your man is someone who really loves friends. He wants friends to be around always. But you, in quotes, is the introvert type. You always want to be with your man. But here lies the case. He's just the direct opposite of who you are. Always with friends, maybe hanging out with male friends per se, not the other gender. Okay? Maybe since he has been to high school, he has traveled around the world, and then he will definitely meet people. Okay? Way back in Germany too, let's say he has friends around the neighborhood or the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's consider this. Here is a case always your man is being busy, okay? He's being encapsulated by friends always.
Yeah.
Okay? And doesn't have that kind of time for you. Now, friends can make your relationship better and they can equally unmake it. Do you get what I mean?
I mean, not really.
What I'm trying to say is this.
Yeah.
Friends can play both bad and good influence in your relationship when
Sure.
it comes to friendship.
Yeah.
Some friends can give bad advices. Some can also give you good advices. Okay? So would you like or would you accept your partner being someone who has a lot of friends around?
So if I don't like the friends given that fact, right?
So what kind of
It's a
friends would you
difficult
like your partner to associate with?
It's not up to me. Like of course, like my partner is an own person. Like he can decide with what people he wants to be around, and I don't have to like all of his friends, and he doesn't have to like all of my friends. That's the thing. Like I have my part of my life. He has his part of his life. We both share our lives. That's the thing. But it's not like we both are one. Like we have both our separate parts sometimes, and we have our free spaces. And being with friends is sometimes can be a partner-free space, and that is completely fine, I think.
So Jay, would you consider friendship in relationship?
Yeah. I think that's. I have total same opinion. I mean, I love spending time with her, but I love spending time with my friends as well, and I'm totally fine if she wants to spend time with their friends as well. When you say, of course, friendship always has an impact on the relationship, and as long as it's not like really, really bad, I really consider the friends as bad persons, I'm really happy.
What's your definition for that?
I mean, even if I think they're bad, it's still her decision. But I would give some advices, of course. My definition for that is a really general question, but in this case, I would say if they don't treat her good, That's the only thing I care about her friends, how they treat her. I don't care what they do with the rest of the time. Her friends need mine. But if they don't treat her good, I would have not a problem. It's still her thing. But I would give some advices.
Yeah, you would tell me, of course.
Yeah.
It's also a thing like you have to tell each other what you think. So if he has a bad opinion on one of my friends, of course he should tell me. Like being transparent with your opinions, if your partner likes it or not. Like
Okay. I think I was expecting to hear that initially. Because I for one I would say I wouldn't like let me put it just everyone around my woman in the first place. Reason being that they can have good and bad influence and it will affect my relationship. Are you getting me? Let's assume my woman meets a friend who will always give bad advice or will be a negative influence on her. Definitely there are things that they will discuss when it comes to my relationship per se. Okay? And then it will be transferred or transmitted into her doings at home with me.
so I have a take on that and you will probably not like it.
Oh no, let me listen to you.
But usually, when women start talking to their friends, it means something is going on in the relationship, and either she can talk about it with you because the partner doesn't want to listen, or the partner doesn't understand. So these are the cases when a woman goes and talks to her friend. And of course, then the friends who are only interested in her well-being won't like you because they will be like, okay, he's a guy who's not listening to her, who doesn't understand her, or who doesn't even want to understand her. So these are cases. So I have to be with the women in this case and tell you, if you really try to be empathetic, if you try to listen to each other, to talk everything out, if you have a problem, talk about it, be honest. And also if it's not nice, also if you're stressed or something, just talk about everything. And there will be not even a reason to go to your female friends or to your male friends. And then you won't even have that conflict anymore because you can just talk it out to your partner directly.
So are you going to tell me everything in a relationship when it comes to you?
Yeah.
Everything. All secrets. Nothing hidden. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Jay, what's your take on that?
So for me, it depends. If it's the secret of a friend of mine,
Yeah, that's a different thing. Obviously.
I would have
Like you
all
have to
my
be loyal
secrets,
in
which
some
just
cases.
belongs to me. I would share with them, of course. Different question to that topic. You told me if you think there are friends who have a bad influence on your partner, you wouldn't like that they're still around her. Imagine your wife tells you, you have one friend, I'm quite sure he has a bad influence on you. I don't like you to see him anymore. What would you say?
That's a tough one.
That's exactly the question you asked me before.
Okay. Well, you see, relationship is something that it doesn't involve one person. Okay. And let me say it's an institution on its own. And it has a whole lot of costs. You need to study each other every day. Okay? So now, I'm in a relationship, and then I think maybe a friend is a bad influence on me, which will affect my relationship. Looking at the situation, knowing that truly it is having a bad influence on me, I think I'll listen to my mom.
But if you don't know it, she just tells you, and you think, I don't think so.
Definitely with time you are going to know. There is nothing hidden. Maybe from the start, you are not going to know. Okay? But as time goes on, behavior can't be hidden forever.
But in this step, would you listen to your wife? Or would you say, hey, it's my friend?
Will I listen to her?
I don't think so.
Sorry, what?
I was asking what he asked. I was asking, should I listen to my woman? I don't think I should listen to my woman.
Also die Frau sagt ihm, dein Kumpel ist nicht gut.
Ach so. Sorry, now I get it. So the thing is, right? In my theory, in my opinion, your partner is one of the people who knows you the best. You know? So, because you're close to somebody in a way you won't get close to anybody else, right? So, usually, if your partner is good and he only wants good things for you to happen, your partner is like one of the best people to give you advice in some things because they only want the best for you because they don't have any other interests. If it is a perfect relationship, that's I'm talking about. Like, of course, there are different relationships with like different dynamics, but if it is the perfect relationship, it would work like this. So if Jakob tells me something that I don't like, even about friends of mine, I will totally listen to him because I know that he only wants the best for me and he knows me well. It's like, also, if you would take advice from your mom, you already know that she will give you good advice because everything she wants for you is that you're happy. That's so of course you should listen to your woman with everything, you know? Not just with the things that you like that she says, but mostly with the things that you don't like about what she says.
Okay, now let's take this for instance. You made mention of your mom, alright? So you're going out with Jacob,
Yes.
your mom gets to know, okay? Nelly, the man you are bringing to the house, I don't like him.
Yeah.
But you've gone too far with him and you are in love. Will you pull out?
No, because you can. Like I think it's an illusion that in these situations it's up to you to decide whether you want to be in love or not. It's not a decision, like it happens and these are feelings. I don't think that you can actually like decide to not be in love anymore. And usually, like in my experience, it depends on the parents. If the parents really know you well, they're close to you, and they also know your partner well. Usually, parents they see one impression and they don't like him, but that's not a base on which you can like make a decision. You know, it's a first impression. It's not like they know them very well. Like if they know them very well, and they make the decision to tell you like that he's not good for you, I would definitely try to listen to them. But in my experience, it's not gonna happen that that person's gonna break up. It never does. It doesn't even happen with friends. Like I know so many friends of mine who had bad men, and I'm sure that so many people told them like you should stop being with him, and they didn't. So they have to learn the lesson, I guess.
Jay, are you going to listen to mom?
To my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, of
Nelly's
course.
not good.
In this case, no. I think that's totally my decision.
And don't you think it will sound as a disrespect to your mom? You didn't obey her.
It really depends on the kind of view. Probably she would think that, yeah. But me in person, I don't think so. I think to choose a partner, as the same like the question before, it's totally my decision. The same like when I choose friends, that's totally my decision, and nobody should give a fuck about that. Not even my mother. And I love her more than anything else, but it's
But
just
you
my
don't
thing.
listen to her.
In this case, in only this case.
In only this case, you won't listen to her.
Mm.
And then she still proceeds, oh, okay, fine. If in case you won't listen to me, then don't call me your mother again, leave my house and all that. Would you still listen? You know, sometimes parents push you so close to the wall that you'll be found wanting in terms of decision or concrete decision making.
It's actually a tough one because, you know, all in all, my parents are really liberal, and I really know they would care about my partner, but they wouldn't take the decision if I'm allowed to meet somebody or not. But I can try to imagine it in this case that my mom really told me, like, she or me, her or me.
I've pushed you closer to the world.
Yeah, I got you. I'm saying, Mom, I love you, and of course, I would never decide against you, but I won't decide against my wife as well.
So
I wouldn't take this decision. I would say, I'm trying my best to see both of you, and if you don't want to see me, I'm really, really sorry. And it breaks my heart. But it's your decision, not mine.